Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forevr Rugby on Forevr Sports. And SA Rugby have announced the award nominees for the 2020 season, which will be quite an interesting. Well, not that there's going to be a ceremony; it's all going to be virtually done, but it will be announced on the 4th of March this week, Thursday. But it was quite a strange season, one of the most unique seasons probably ever. And it's you got to take into consideration what was happening before lockdown, after lockdown, Super Rugby Unlocked, and Currie Cup. So there are performances in 2021 which are going to contribute towards the 2020 season awards. So, which is what I mean. Kind of, it's inevitable with how strange of a season it's been. I pretty much agree with most of the nominees, to be honest. I think it's quite so. I think a couple of players that might be a little bit unlucky. But before we get into the actual nominations and the award categories, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner there. Smash like on the video as well. Right, so we'll start with the Sevens Player of the Year because I think it's not that it's a minor award, but I think it just wasn't a lot of Sevens rugby. We would have liked to have seen a lot more last year. We should have had the Olympics last year. We should have had a lot more Sevens rugby to be able to determine the best player. But some very exciting players: Angelo Davids, Selvin Davids, and Stedman Hunt. So I mean, it's pace, power, stepping, everything we toss those three players. I'm particularly impressed with Stedman Hunt, not only what he can do on a sevens field, but the way he's managed to bring that across to the 15s game as well. Angelo Davids, so much pace, a very skillful player, and Selvin Davids can be devastating in any sort of circumstance. So I'm probably going to back maybe Selvin Davids. Actually, I don't know. I think that could go anywhere, to be honest. I think it would be fair regardless of who gets that. We didn't get to see enough of the team, I don't think, to be able to make a proper decision. We would have liked to have seen 2-3 more tournaments and the Olympics as well. Carling Cup Player of the Year, all from the Bulls: Cornel Hendricks, Markham Verstaden, Dwayne Vermeulen. I think Curran Bosch is probably the unlucky one there, was the leading point scorer in the competition. Cornel Hendricks, fantastic to see he's up there. I mean, what a comeback it is, what a story it is for him. So really, really chuffed for him. Markham Verstaden is the form loose forward in the country, so I think it's between him and Cornel Hendricks. Dwayne Vermeulen, I think, is there, just for the overall game he brings. He's just too consistent. He doesn't make mistakes week in, week out. He gives you the same performance. He makes his tackles. He's so good under the high ball. He's such a calm figure, and the only difference between those players in the Super Rugby and the Unlocked Player of the Year is Frans Steyn comes in ahead of Cornel Hendricks, which I think is right. I think he deserved to be nominated. I do think that Sikomoza Noche might be one of the players who is unlucky to be left out. I thought he looked fantastic in the Super Rugby at the beginning of last year when the Sharks were playing some really, really good rugby. He really was at the core of that. And I thought he was also very good in the Super Rugby Unlocked and in the Currie Cup. So I think he's maybe somebody who is probably unlucky to miss out, must be in and around the fringes. Very impressed with what he's doing since he made his move to the Sharks. Coach of the Year always mimics the team of the year. So we've got the Bulls, Sharks, and Sevens nominated, and therefore Sean Everett, Jake White, and Neil Powell. It has to be Jake White. It really does have to be Jake White. When you consider, if you go back a year ago, the disarray the Bulls were in, weren't getting the performances. Jake White came in, a lot of players came in, and suddenly they won back-to-back titles. So that's a given. It will be the Bulls. It has to be Jake White. As I said, I think if the Sevens had more time and could have done something at the Olympics, they probably could have pipped them. But you can't overlook what Jake White has done. It's just been too good how quickly he has turned that Bull side into a misfiring team, into a team that will be heading into the Rainbow Cup as one of the favourites, really, playing such good rugby at the moment. SA Rugby, Young Player of the Year, my favourite category. It genuinely is my favourite category because I just think it's so good to see the young players that are coming up and some very good players here. We've got Curran Bosch, which reminds you just how young he still is. Stedman Hunt, fantastic at 13 for the Bulls. Ruan Nokia, very impressive. I thought he was he's a block in waiting. I think him and Salman Murat could very well be our block pairing in 2-3 years' time and could be that pairing for a long time. I'm very impressed with what those two are currently doing on the rugby field. Dylan Richardson moved to the flank sort of pretty much full time because his lineouts and his hooker duties sometimes lack. But I mean, a brilliant player. Very confrontational, in the face, not scared, proper heart on your sleeve type player. He's a fighter. He's really good over the ball. And then Wonder Similani, who I'm really excited to see gets recognised. Because I thought that when the Lions were playing really poorly at the beginning of last year in Super Rugby Unlocked, he wasn't starting. He was being overlooked. The Lions fans were very frustrated, and then he got his chance in the Currie Cup and Super Rugby Unlocked. And I think right now it's going to be a battle between him and Stedman Hunt to who can try and back up Lukanya. So the depth we've got in look, I mean, we've still got JC Creel obviously coming in from overseas, but in terms of really long term, Lukanya and JC Creel, who's coming next? Not that they're old at all. Wanisiela Similani versus Steadman Gans is going to be a very, very interesting battle. Two very nice players, very good on the attacking front. I think Steadman Gans is probably a little bit better defensively, but Wanisiela Similani is somebody, his acceleration, his awareness, just, you can create something from anywhere. So two very nice players there, and good to see, some centres being in the nominees. So blessed with centres at the moment when you think that you've got Cornel Hendricks, Steadman Gans, Wanisiela Similani, all nominated across different categories, and yet none of them currently in the box setup. And then SRA Player of the Year, Cohen Bosch gets the nod, as does Cornel Hendricks. Stephen Kitsoff for the Stormers, completely deserved. So consistent, so solid for the Stormers. Their best player by country mile. I mean, he's Rolls Royce material. You know what he's getting. Week in, week out, you get the same performance, and it is world class. France staying for the Cheetahs, kicked brilliantly, brings so much experience. And for me, I'd really like to see him make a move. Probably to the Sharks would be the best sort of fit for him in terms of needing an inside centre. You could look at the Stormers as well. I just really want to see him playing in the Rainbow Cup and playing in in a high level of competition. And then Dwayne Vermeulen obviously is also there, probably the front runner, I think, in terms of the Player of the Year. It's probably between him, Vermeulen, maybe Kitsoff. I think it will be Dwayne Vermeulen. It's too good. It's the best 8 man in the world for a reason. He's a reason he won the man of the match in the Rugby World Cup final. He is a phenomenal player, and it is just a pity that for certain career decisions, the way he's gone, he hasn't played more for the Springboks, but it's good to see him back in South Africa. It's really good for South African rugby to have him playing in the local league, and I think he is probably the front runner. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the awards down in the comments below. Who are the front runners? Who would you like to have seen nominated as well? Let me know in the comments. Smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.